Welcome to my channel. My name is Alex, and this is a channel about guitars, gear, music, and other related topics. Do you love your gear? Do you love the logo on the headstock, the history, and the music you made on it? Here's the cold hard truth. The brand you're loyal to does not love you back. The people that used to work there, they don't work there anymore. What is left for that original company that you have so much invested in? Today we're talking about how guitar giants and corporate monoliths are actively testing just how much abuse their core audience will take before walking away. Some of the stuff that I'm gonna touch here has to do with pricing and how that's affected musicians and the customers. However, I know price increases sometimes are needed. I know that you will be loyal to certain companies as long as they are giving you value back. I bought this unit when this unit was already old news, old technology. Line 6 has consistently updated the firmware and the sounds and the value on this unit. I love that it has so many inputs and outputs. You can use it in many situations. I love that the company didn't just like created that product and just left it stranded. So therefore, yeah, I will check out Line 6 products when they come out. However, that doesn't mean that I'm just gonna give them a pass to whatever they do. Imagine you owning a hardware or a property, in this case, an item, something like a car, and the car having things built into it that are there that you already pay for pretty much, but you can't use them. BMW, they were charging a subscription, heating the seats in your car. They do things that kind of alienate customers, and they don't mind because they feel like they will get new people, and in that way they don't feel anything for you. They don't have any loyalty for you, so why should you have it for them? The subscription was intended to be one of many ways to offer flexibility to our customers, who could opt in to pay for vehicle functions when it's suited to them, then stop paying when they were no longer wanted. How about just have them, because the customer already paid for the car? How about having them there and the customer will decide when they need it or not? Don't need to contact you or pay you an additional fee for that. The company that owns UFC and also owns WWE, TKO, admitted that they are no longer pricing for families to go in. There's a lot of people that enjoy it and would like to keep on going. They used to go with their families. You will take the kids out, maybe eat a hot dog, drink a soda, just, some fun family time. WWE is not where the UFC yet is on Ticket Jill. We have our work to do there. We know we have a lot of room there because Vince McMahon was when Vince McMahon was the previous owner, was primarily pricing tickets for families and wasn't totally focused on maxing the opportunity there. In other words, they think he was pricing the tickets too cheap. Now that we've seen what we can do with UFC, we're replicating that in terms of ticket yield and holding back and advance sales when it comes to on location on the WWE side. It just comes out as, oh, you know what, the people that used to be the customers here, we don't want you here anymore. We don't care about you. How about a company that's so cocky and so sure that they're gonna like just sell anything that comes out, and they just say that you gotta get used to not owning what you buy. Executive says gamers need to get comfortable not owning their games for subscriptions to take off. One of the things we saw is that gamers are used to a little bit like DVD, having and owning their games. The problem with that is any changes to the game that they do, because sometimes they lose licenses, agreements, like they expire. So it's not if, it's like kind of when this license expires. Your game is highly altered. Sometimes you lose parts, music, the whole game can be lost. Xbox, their parent company Microsoft, who was coming out with the Xbox One. This was in 2013. When they were coming with that, back then, their new console, their spokesperson said that they wanted the Xbox One to be connected to the internet all the time. One thing that the Xbox guy said was, which is my point here in this video, if people cannot afford buying the Xbox One because it was going to be $500 back then, and do not want to be connected all the time to the internet. We have a product for that, and it's called the Xbox 360. We have the old console that you've been using all this time. You can still use that one. Pretty much that's what he meant. The bottom line is the most important part, not the creative part, and not the customer, not making the customer feel like they're getting a quality product. Now, it's easy to look at a giant tech conglomerate and expect that kind of detached corporate behavior. But what happens when the exact same corporate playbook gets applied to the industry built on soul, craftsmanship, community? I have heard that Fender wasn't a musician. However, he was very in touch with musicians and the community, and he just wanted to create a product that will solve a lot of musicians' issues, right? So he never stopped doing that. He always worked trying to improve on his concept. The Fender of now is not the Fender of yesterday. There's a company that oversees them too. I believe they are easy to increase their prices instead of like improving their craftsmanship, improving the value, improving on features that the customers want. Just like sending cease and desist letters to companies that are actually giving the players that are listening to players, listening to the community, and are putting these features in instruments that sometimes are like 40% cheaper than Fender. You know, same materials and better specs and better sometimes better parts too. They have also gone to like big companies and tell them you gotta stop making this guitar that looks like ours. And of course, we're talking about the Stratocaster, right? They're going out against like Parkcasters assemblers and U.S. boutique builders, and it's just something that I think it creates a very bad PR for them. Of course, they're not thinking about their customers. I feel like most people that buy a Strat copy eventually will buy a Strat. If you put enough value in there and enough care on your product, and just not make so many guitars out of just the same thing with the same color. So every now and then, what they'll do is just give you a color. They'll just give you like a green. They have a green that every now and then they'll pull out every couple of years, and they'll sell tons of guitars, right? So instead of doing that, giving the customer a product that the customer feels proud of owning, feels okay with paying more money for. I assure you, if a person is happy with a Strat copy, eventually he will buy a Fender. If the value is there. If they can see that it's worth the upgrade. Because if they're just getting the same thing, why will they upgrade? Like in 2019, Gibson had a Play Authentic campaign. This was more about, I think they sued, Dean, right? They sued Dean. They also sued, before that, they had sued PRS for their single cut model, even though the PRS is one of the guitars that looks the less like a Les Paul than the other ones. I know it's still kind of like a Les Paul, but it looks less than a Les Paul than other Les Pauls inspired guitars. When you say Play Authentic, it kind of means like not affordable, not necessarily cheap, but the affordable that you can buy it. You can make an investment and buy a quality product. That's fine. But if you're gonna increase the price to a point that people just can't buy authentic, I mean, they can't play authentic. At some point, people were complaining a lot about Gibson's quality, right? So if there are complaints out there, and people are saying that you don't have a consistent quality control, how are you going to be raising prices, right? How are you going to be upset that people are not buying your authentic product? Because even the people that are loyal or want to buy authentic, or just they don't want to give money to people who are copying products. Even those people will, because they cannot buy your product. It kind of feels like at some point Gibson was positioning their guitars, at least their USA version guitars, as a luxury lifestyle item, rather than just like a practical working tool. There are luxury brands out there. I understand that. A brand like Collins is a luxury brand. They make a guitar very similar to a Gibson. It's just very expensive because there's a lot of care, a lot of craftsmanship that goes into it. That's the way I see it. Like, the Gibson is the guitar, the Collins is the luxury version. Gibson themselves, they make their own luxury versions, and Fender does as well. They do the custom chop, right? And that way you get the guitar the way you want it, and they put lots of hours in craftsmanship into that product. Therefore, it's a luxury item. A company like Paul Smith, I've always seen them kind of like a luxury. Paul Smith Custom 24. Okay, this is the regular price. I don't know about that. So the regular price that I'm seeing here, over $4,000. Wow. There's, of course, you can go used, which is what I would recommend people to do. Find a good condition used guitar. There's sales for $3,600. That's a lot of dough. See, I've always seen the core PRSs as luxury items. And people throw a lot of dirt at Fender because of the pricing and Gibson. But what they're doing with the PRS SEs, they are pricing them like they're going high in their prices too. However, with the PRS SEs, at least I don't see that many people like complaining about quality issues. And they have improved their products a lot. Like you can see every generation, they improve their product. So they make it better to kind of like, justify their price increase. When the biggest brands in the world treat heritage like a luxury tax, it's time to stop chopping with our eyes and start chopping with our ears. That's my take for today. If you find any value in this content, please leave a like and subscribe.